Good morning, friends. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is having a good day. It is stunning here. It is spring has sprung, all of the good things. So it was really, really good. My husband and I actually had a little getaway this weekend. We went kind of like a glamping thing. Like, let's be clear, I'm never going to camp. That is not ever going to be what I'm going to do. But we did do a little glamping and it was so fun. We had such a blast. The weather was beautiful. We got to bike. We got to do all the things. So super, super fun. Let me see if there we go. So for those of you who are watching live this morning, go ahead and say hello. For those of you who are watching via replay, go ahead and type in replay. But welcome to Wednesday Craft and Chat. And it is such an exciting time because the catalog is live. The annual catalog is live, and a couple of things that I love about how we are doing our catalog. So back in the day, the catalog was huge and everything was in the catalog. And what happens with that is you really can't be very nimble when you are beholden to a single catalog. We had some mini catalogs that kind of boosted whether it was holiday or something like that. But with this, there's so many things that are online that you won't necessarily find in the catalog. And again, it just allows us to be a lot more nimble on that. So I think that that's a really great thing. So you really do have to go online and look through, like, search papers, search bundles. It's kind of the same thing like anytime you shop online. Like, you go and you look like, oh, I need a new pair of denim. Let me go see what is at J. Crew for denim, right? So it's kind of the same idea. So I feel like it's very familiar. For those of us who shop online regularly, it's going to feel really, really good. So the catalog is live. It is online. All of the things are available for purchase. There are a lot of online exclusives that happen monthly. So lots of information in there. If you want to keep up on all of the comings and goings and the nitty gritty of it, make sure that you are part of my newsletter, because that's where I'm really going to talk about those things, because I can scoot out a quick message and make it really, really easy to stay in touch. The other thing that I wanted to do before we start stamping today, part of the chatting before the crafting, is to ask you what exactly you would like to see most. So in talking to some people, they're like, I love a fancy fold. And I get that, like, fancy folds are super fun, aren't they? But some people want a great color combination, or some people are like, gosh, I always struggle when it comes to making sympathy cards, or whatever it might be. So if there are certain things that you like, or you're looking for, or it's color combos, tutorials, all of those kinds of things, let me know in the comments below, because I always want to be creating content that is exactly what you're looking for and what you need. So that is really important to me. So today I have a really darling project. So first off, before I get to that, I did place my new catalog order. So, as a demonstrator, we get to order a little portion of the catalog before it goes live. So we were out of town, so I got in today and ordered a couple of things that I'm really excited about. Of course, ribbon in the new in colors, because they're so dreamy and so delightful. A bunch of bundles, and then more paper, because I love designer series paper. I love a pretty paper. So I've got that as well. So lots and lots of things in there, and I will be showcasing those next week when I pop on. So all sorts of new things in there. So again, always remember, I'm on YouTube at Hand Stamped with Lisa Prato. So go and subscribe there, because I do exclusive videos there that you will not see here. Make sure, if you are not on my newsletter list, that you comment newsletter below, and I will give you the link so you can get signed up for that, so you don't miss any of the things that are going on there, particularly flash things, because also it's my birthday next week. I am turning the big 60 next week, and so I do have a fun little giveaway that I'm doing. And so you have to be a newsletter subscriber to be a part of that. So make sure that you are also on that for me. And let's just get this all going here. All right, my friends, we are going to start. Let me change my camera over. All right, so I have this super darling card, and I'm going to pull it up to the camera so you can see a little bit better. It has this great texture in the back. this beautiful greeting here, and then a little bit of floral. So I created this card and I loved it. I wanted, good morning, Susan. I wanted something to showcase this beautiful texture. So I made this card and I thought, oh, you know, I love it. It's a little simple. And I know for some of you, you're a little fancier than me when it comes to stamping. So I'm going to show you this card. I'm just going to take it up a notch. So I want to show you a couple of things that I'm doing here. So let me show you what I'm using for this particular thing. First thing is the stamp set is called Wonderful Thoughts. It has all of these beautiful sentiments. Now, I'm always curious. I am a sentiment girl, so I'm always going to pick the sentiment sets over like another flower because I'm like, oh my goodness, I have another flower. But you look at this, I probably have a dozen stamp sets that say congratulations, but the font is different, the look is different, right? All of those things. So I always want to make sure that I have all the options for that. So it's just my little thing. I know some of you are more artwork driven, but I love this little set, this Wonderful Thoughts. And this comes with a matching dies. And so I want to show you how this works because I think it's really, really clever. Now, in the past, and for some of my stamps, I will do a little fussy cutting to create that sentiment. But what I love about this is you have this stamp set, and then you have a set of dies that are created specifically to die cut those images out. So I think that is just a really great, easy, fun thing. So you can stamp your image, use your die cut, perfectly cut every time. It makes it really, really fun. But it also comes with this heart, 2 hearts here, and this little flower down here. And that is the flower that I used to make this card. So everything on this card comes from that particular bundle, except for that cute little background, which I'm obsessed with, and I will show you a little bit about that. So we're going to take this really beautiful, simple card, and we're just going to up it a little bit. We're just going to make it a little fancier, add a couple of things to it. So we're going to go ahead and do that and show you what I've got for you. So if we look at the cardstock that we have, the first thing I wanted to do is this card opens very traditionally, and I wanted to do it a little bit different. So I cut my paper at 4 1/4 by 11 so that this card will actually open top to bottom rather than side by side, side to side. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to make sure that my cutting blade is set off to the side. And so I'm just going to score this at 5 1/2. And again, it just creates a little bit different opening, which just that alone, I think, gives it a little bit different interest. So we're just going to fold that. So we've got that guy all folded, ready to go for us. And so we'll take that. I'm going to give him a little zhuzh with my bone folder so that we create a nice sharp. So we've got that piece done. The next part that we're going to do, what I want to do is we're going to create this front panel. Now you can see that what I've done here is I've created a little bit of a panel on a panel. So just this next one is going to be 5 1/4 by 4, and then the one inside is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So stacking those up and creating that little bit of interest there. So if I look at this, it's going to sit just like that. Now for this one, I actually did the embossing on that front panel and then just popped it right onto that base below. So I did something a little bit different for this one. And I took that embossing folder. So this is the embossing folder. It's part of your Glass and Gardens embossing folder set. And if you can see, it has all of this beautiful floral image on it. Get it so you can see it in the light. And then it also comes with this other one, and we actually used this one last week. Right, so I used this one last week, and so this week we're going to go with this one, which has this really beautiful floral on it. Susan, we will definitely be getting you that newsletter. So what I did is I just cut it, or I embossed it on one side, and now I'm just going to cut that out. And while I'm doing with this is I'm creating a little bit of extra dimension on the card. So I went ahead, embossed it, and then I cut out that image. And again, all I'm looking to do is to create a little bit more visual interest on this very, very simple card. So if we take a look, we're going to add this right here, and we're just going to pop that up with some dimensionals. So again, I always think that if you're going with more texture than color, giving dimension to it is the same thing as adding texture to it, right? So always good to do that and just pop that up with a couple of dimensionals here to create another layer to this card. Get those little backings off. Grab that little guy. All right, and I'm just going to put this on here, same thing. I always like to go a little bit off because I feel like you have a lot more opportunity for getting it right rather than trying to get it in the middle, right? And then you can't do that. So you can see it just gives a little bit more dimension to that. And then if you look at this one, I have one flower that I die cut using that the set here of the wonderful, you can see right there, the Wonderful Thoughts dies has this floral. And I did that in a strawberry slush and added it to the front. So I thought it might be fun, instead of doing just one, doing two of those and creating something that looks a little bit more layered. So I'm going to add a little bit more to that as well. I'm going to go with my Wink of Stella and just add a little bit of shimmer, and not perfectly, just a little bit to highlight some of those places on those. Just, it's going to give it a little bit more of a, just, I don't know, a little bit more interest, right? Giving it a little bit more interest. And anytime you're staying simple, I still want to keep it simple. I don't want it to be fussy, but it just adds a little bit more on there without it becoming too much. So I've got both of those ready to go as well. And so then just to play around with that, how you want that to look. So I think that that's really pretty. So I'm going to take this, I am going to take my, with the first one, I'm going to take my green glue, and I'm just going to give it a little bit in some of the areas where it's a little bit thicker here, so that I can get that adhered. Now I'm adhering it to an embossed image. So sometimes you need to go a little bit heavier on the adhesive to make sure that it sticks, because you've got those raised edges that can be a little bit tricky. But I'm just going to take that cutie and slide it over here. All right. And I'm just going to lay it just like so. All right. Give that a little press so we get a chance for that to adhere. Now, this second one, I want to raise up just a little bit. Again, it gives it a little bit more dimension. So the colors we're using this are using on this particular card, Strawberry Slush and then Secret Sea, two of the new in colors, which I think are perfection together. Really, really good. I think they play together really well. And honestly, that Secret Sea is just like the most beautiful neutral. It's a little bit softer than black, so I feel like it's a little bit more forgiving than black. I love black and white and a color. I think that's just a really classy look, but sometimes black can come across a little harsh, and so I think of this as like a black with just a little bit more smokiness to it rather than clarity. So basic black is always going to be a clear, crisp color, and this Secret Sea is just a little bit softer. So I'm just going to go ahead in here so you guys can see, and just give that a little push. And so you can see how that panel is starting to come together. It's just got a lot more depth to it and a little bit more interest, which I think is a really, really winning combination. So we've got that there. Now with this particular card, I went with You Are Much Appreciated, so darling, right? But look at all the greetings that I have to choose from that I can perfectly die cut out. So happy that you're my person. Thanks. Hello. You can do amazing things. I mean, so good. So I went really simple, and I went with Thinking of You. Again, I like to make cards that I can actually send, so I think that is a really good one. So I'm going to take that, and I'm just going to add some dimensionals to the back of that as well, so that we're going to give that a little bit of a pop. All right, we'll take that one off. All right, get those guys out of the way, come back here, and then I can just place this. And because my flowers are going a little bit more to the right of center, I'm going to place this a little bit to the left of center, just so that it creates a little bit better visual balance. So you can see how that looks there. And then I'm going to take this, I have my card base, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, and I am going to go with, you know it, more dimensionals, never can get enough. So one of the things when you're mailing a card like this that has a lot of dimension to it, when you put it in the mail, sometimes it can get a little squishy. So a good rule of thumb is to add a piece of cardstock to separate your card from the envelope. And what that does for you is it just gives a little bit more cushion so that you hopefully don't get a card that shows up when the front is all mushed together. So we're going to come on here, place, oops, forgot, we're going to place it, we're matting it on another piece of white. There we go. Almost shortchanged my card, almost shortchanged my card. Then that one we're going to just roll over, and this we are going to go with some seal. Really simple. Add that one. All right, so you can see the difference here. Both of them really darling. This one just sits a little bit flatter. This one has a little bit more dimension to it. Again, we just cut out that embossing piece and popped it up, added a second flower and popped that up as well. So it looks like we've got some beautiful rhinestones on here. You can never, ever have too many sparkles on a card. Am I right? Yes, I am. We love that. So we're just going to pop a couple on there. And we'll do one more down over here, right? So you can see how cute that is. Now, another thing to think about when you're making a card that has a colored base to it, right? We have to write in this card. We're going to say a little something. We're going to make it personal. So we need to add a piece of basic white to the inside as well. Now, I'm a big fan of no naked insides. So what I did is I took that embossing folder, excuse me, and I ran it through with just the base of that card. You can see just the base of that card. And so I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to give that a little bit of love and attach that to the inside of my card so I have a little bit of visual interest when the card is opened as well. So those are the two cards. This one a little bit more basic, just those two pieces of white, one card, made it really simple. And here we just popped that panel up a little bit, added a second flower, a little bit of Wink of Stella, and then that really pretty embossing we continued onto the inside. So really, really fun. So again, this is the wonderful Thought's Bundle. All of these beautiful greetings complete with dies that make it really easy so you don't have to fussy cut for those of us who are not. That is not our strong suit. And then also the embossing folders, the glass and garden embossing folders, where you have this really beautiful image on this one, and then this is your floral here, and those two come together. And those are all available to you right now. Oh my goodness, frog in my throat. Those are all available to you right now since the Stampin' Up! Catalog has gone live. And like I said, make sure that when you're in there, go to the online store and type in the things that you're looking for. What's new? That'll pop up as far as what is new in the store. Bundles, die cutting, embossing folders, and really take a peek at all of the fun things that are there along with the online exclusive. There's kits in there. I mean, I could go on and on, but I will leave it to share some things as through the coming week. So again, make sure to mention newsletter so you get subscribed to that newsletter. Make sure that you are following me on YouTube at Hand Stamped with Lisa Prato. Tomorrow, I am posting up, and I think it goes live Thursday. My friend Julie Selva is hosting a Julie and Friends Stamping Challenge. So I have a card that I'm sharing that really focuses on all of the new in colors. And so they will be 3 of us stamping, and you'll get to see each of our take on sharing the new in colors and then be able to vote on your favorite. So it'll be really, really fun. I think you'll get a lot of bang for your buck out of that. So my friends, I hope that you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will keep sharing all of the new things as they are coming in. So make sure you are subscribing to that newsletter to see all of the new things that are coming and how we are going to be sharing those with you. And again, remember, next week, it's my 60th birthday. There's a big giveaway. Got to be a newsletter subscriber. Don't miss it.